I think what's happened in this industry is the proverbial proverb of the boiling frog. It didn't start this way, but it got progressively worse. And at any given point, we said, well, we know there's a problem, but it's not that big. But I think when we open up the covers today, we realize it's not little, it's actually huge. And at the same time that these problems have crept into the industry, the cost of drugs and medications has grown exponentially. So the importance of doubling down, it wasn't, when drugs cost $50, if you wasted a drug here and there, it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't going to break your bank. Now you're talking about drugs that cost $20,000, $200,000, $2 million, and the people who are watching the store aren't working for you, they're working for them. That's a problem. It's almost impossible to imagine that the market can fix itself without a basic level of transparency. And frankly, those regulations are coming. That's part of what the PBM reform will include at the end of the day. That, frankly, is the minimum standard, the minimum amount that will come out of Congress. We've advocated that they ought to make PBMs fiduciaries. Actually require them to act in the best interest of plan sponsors and plan beneficiaries. And in the playbook, we've actually included contract language that does just that. And I think it is totally reasonable on the part of a plan sponsor, an employer, to ask their service provider to work for them and to be responsible to do that. Very few would meet that standard today, and I think that's your first flag. We have a problem. Will employers take this playbook and run with it? I think some will and some won't, and some will just take what they can out of it and do the best they can. It's not a simple problem, but the fact that it's complex does not mean it's not serious, and it doesn't mean that we don't have to get started. And frankly, if we can move a meaningful part of the market, 20%, it will change the market. It will change the conversation. It will change the practices of key players, and you won't be able to put that ketchup back in the bottle. I think this is the beginning of a change process. I think this is the year, in light of the FTC investigations, the legislation, the new players. We think this is the time to actually affect change within the industry and get that pivot in terms of how purchasers are thinking about dealing with their PBM partners in the future.